All right. Welcome back, guys, to Guided Primal Sutra podcast, GPS
Mm,
podcast. And Ryan G, you looking suave today. It's just a regular shirt. What's going on?
I'm doing this interview while it's this interview. I'm doing this podcast just after work, so I'm a little bit more dressed up.
Guys,
I really prefer
uh,
to be like, the magician in pajamas. I really
yeah,
like the idea of comfort, man,
just a
because
bathrobe or some
you
shit.
can
Yeah,
shave me a
totally.
bathrobe or some
Yeah,
satin or silk pajamas. I just want to chill, bro. A hoodie, a
right.
cup of coffee, or chocolate milk. I'm good, bro.
Cozy. Yeah,
Just
cozy.
cozy. Just
So we think about when we grow older. We start thinking about the cozy shit.
if
Yeah.
any women listen to this podcast ever and they wonder what I'm looking for in a relationship, cozy, maximum cozy. Like let's build a cozy place
Cozy
together.
fort. Yeah,
Just
exactly.
maximize coziness because Jesus,
Mm.
it's like out there we're working hard enough, man. But speaking of hard enough, let's talk about the toxic
Egregores.
egregores.
Yeah, let's talk about this those egregores, huh?
Uh,
Yeah, so what the hell is an egregore? Let's
good
start there.
question.
So an egregore is basically a group thought form that
Mhm,
takes on a life of its own. So
mhm,
imagine like a bunch of people are like gossiping, praying, chanting, fighting, like buying merch, and they're all watching the same Netflix show, let's say, right? They're
mhm,
fandom. That's an egregore. It's not a fandom. Okay, so basically, it's when that battery of energy that these people are feeding becomes it has agency. It develops a consciousness of its own, and then
mhm,
starts whispering, nudging to you. It pulls you as an actual psychic quality, and it basically it punishes the defectors and it rewards loyalists
mhm.
in a certain way. So the people who are part of the group, they get benefits. The people who aren't, they get
Yeah,
like different outcomes, like
it's
disadvantages or whatever. So
it's like
yeah,
having a spiritual loyalty card, basically. You go to
right,
Costco or let's say whatever brand,
right,
and you know, you have your loyalty card, you get some extra discounts or
right. Some
whatever, or
bonuses or
exclusive
whatever.
deals, some
Yeah, yeah.
bonuses.
Some
And that's kind
scratches,
of
gift cards or whatever. Yeah, exactly.
some
All
gift
that
cards
stuff.
indeed. Now, imagine this in the spiritual sense or in the RPG sense. You have a patron or whatever. That patron is a thought form technically, and you get whatever
Right.
blessings from that patron. That's kind of how we see the Nexus as well, only we're dealing with something that's beyond egregores as well. That being
Yeah.
said,
I mean, even your grandma's kitchen, where it has all the lights that you know, specific arrangement of lights and like the vibe in the home and stuff, could be an egregore. If you keep thinking about that location,
mhm,
you're actually feeding it your psychic energy, right? So
mhm,
something like in a place can also have that quality of a thought form. So
mhm,
some help you rise, like group meditation, let's say, is a good, it's a positive egregore, right? Um, monks in
mhm.
Tibet create more so tulpas. It's just another word for it. But
Yes,
like, think about this: Steve Jobs is dead, but the egregore of Apple is still alive.
yes,
That's wild.
yes, yes, that's very true. I forgot about him. Yeah, it's good marketing.
And yet, I'm using a MacBook to speak on this podcast, so it's like,
Well, I mean, that's why I kind of focus on the other evil, which is Windows or Linux or whatever. But anyway, a point is,
you
anything
want
you
to
give
stay away from
attention.
forbidden fruit? Okay,
Well, I'm not going to engage you in this conversation with you here, man. It's
don't
for the
feed my
after
egregore,
party.
bro. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All
Um,
right.
it's not a similar allegory. Is around the theme of people or events or whatever living rent free in your head. It is what you
Right.
allow yourself to give attention that tends to, dictate aspects of your life. You have heard of the saying, whatever you allow and tolerate tends to shape or flavor your life. or something along those lines. And I'm hoping, sincerely hoping, those that come across this live and or video, take this moment to reflect on what things have I been given way too much attention that clearly does
Yeah,
not deserve my attention. And then you
yeah,
start to realize you've given people and or things way too much value, whereas other things are more important. If you take a piece of paper and you put on there, where do you want to be in 5 years or whatever, your dream is, and then you look at what you do from day to day, you look at what you think day to day, etc. How much is really being invested in that dream? And then you realize, oh, not a lot or not enough.
yeah.
So take
It's
this
true that.
moment to realize that. So that's the easy part. Now we're going to the part where things get kind of spooky. What do you have to say about that, Sumit?
Well, it sort of reminds me of like the collective unconscious that Carl Jung talks about. Like he didn't
Mm,
call them like egregores, but he did mention that there are like psychic forces that shape individuals and culture,
mm,
whether you believe in them or not, right? Like whether you put your thought into it or your attention into it, it's still gonna have a sway in a certain way. So yeah, we're not as free as we think, but we can take our sovereignty back, and it begins by seeing it and naming it and
right.
deciding whether to feed or starve it, like you're saying. So yeah, super powerful notes. Yeah, but yeah, don't demonize them. You just need to reclaim your role as a creator.
Would you then say the moment you reframe your paradigm and thus your reality with just thought forms, just Egregore or Tulpas or Tulsis?
Yeah, you have to supersede it, basically. You have
Right.
to think of a more powerful frame or worldview that dominates that egregore. For
Mm.
example, I'll give you an example. Let's say, Ryan G, you're talking to me about that succubus attack, let's say, right? It was
Ah,
a
yeah,
while back,
ah, yeah,
very
ah,
long time
yeah.
back. But
Yeah.
then what if, well, let's just take that as an example, right? Um, what if in my worldview that didn't exist, right? That concept of succubi didn't exist, then I would have to find a higher frame of looking at that. Like my own mind is siphoning energy from me, or you would have to change the idea to something so grand that that succubi becomes a flea compared to your potentiality. So the problem with humans is we have too many human thoughts and earthly, worldly 3D thinking that we can't easily switch into the 5D and the ethereal realms quickly. But I think if you just expand your mind, as all these mystic sages have been saying, way. So sort of like that.
Mm.
You know, what's coming up
Mm.
with you?
Well, what's coming up for me is it doesn't matter how much we expand, there's always more to expand. Expansion is
Right,
infinite. It is so
right.
completely abundant that, I mean, look at you and I roughly around the lockdown periods and trace it back to where we are now. We had no idea this would be the result. We had no
Mhm.
idea where our commitment, thus our attention, would go and where it would lead to.
Well, we actually just pivoted, right? Like we call the channeled master classes. Do you remember those days? So we used to, one second, check
Mhm.
my phone. So yeah, we used to have
Yes,
these channel master classes, and immediately, like when we noticed that there was like a disturbance or static coming our way, we just pivoted and made it into a brand. So that was very powerful, actually, how we did that. Um, we really
mm,
thought about it. We thought about the branding. We sat with the gematria, and we got it done, right? And now we're doing it. So it's like, yeah, there's a process to it, really. Like
interesting.
viral trends are also egregores being born, and dying, and then a new viral trend takes over. It's like that's why attention is the new gold, I feel like.
Mm, interesting. So basically, we're saying where attention goes, energy flows, so know what you're feeding. The
Exactly.
topic of today again is, are you infected by egregore? When does the infection become? Is it a begin? I mean,
I think when people keep pouring raw emotion into the egregore without balance, it starts mutating, right? So instead of serving the group's original purpose, it starts serving itself. Think of like a political movement that began with very noble intentions, but then it devours its own leaders that it in purges, right? So at first you create an egregore to amplify your intention,
mhm.
and then a band like a bond with the egregore. Is that what the Nexus is trying to say? A bond? Yeah, a bond with the egregore is like to channel music, let's say. A church makes one to hold devotion, a startup makes one to fuel its innovation, and so forth. So the egregore takes charge when when the group identity becomes important, then the humans in it, the egregore then takes over. So then people become pawns in like kind of a survival game. So it's really about where you're putting your attention to and being conscious of your communities that you're a part of and that you're joining. So you
Mhm.
don't make the label and feed the label. Like if you're like, I'm on NoFap, I'm on NoFap, right? You're feeding that egregore, and then every time you'll get blasted in the algorithm with those words, right? And it'll feed that cycle, right? So in a certain way, you could just say SR and it won't pick up you know, the keywords, the terminology, right? You know how
Mm.
HR has like buzzwords that they use
Yeah,
specifically in emails, right?
yeah, don't get me
Oh man.
started.
And that's how they feed their egregore, right? So oh, this is coming from my work. So,
Mm, mm.
but yeah, it
How?
also attracts lower astral parasites if you're
Yeah,
not
sure.
careful. So that's why.
So it's basically one spiral, one downward spiral attracts more. That's what's happening. So
Yeah,
then becomes, how can someone notice this infection if you want to label it as such?
yeah. So notice when the egregore has gone rogue. You'll notice that if you feel very drained after engaging in something, you're not
Mm,
inspired. So fear of leaving outweighs the joy of staying.
mm,
Okay. And let's say people start defending the group even when it's irrational or destructive. When the vibe has shifted from very expansive community to a very constricted, like rules, dogma, rigidity, borders, um, legislation, right? So it's it's very important to note that you have to first and foremost withdraw your energy from it, name it out loud, whatever you call it. You don't
mhm,
hypnotize yourself. That's not my true self. That's just a group mind trying to speak through me, right? So you're just
mm,
creating that distance, like, no, it's over there. And then you do cleanses and reclaim, basically. You need to replace, because nature hates a vacuum, right?
adhesive action.
Vacuum look. So if you dissolve an intrusive pattern, you fill the space with something more aligned. So uh, let's say you create a positive egregore for yourself. I belong to a field of love and protection, and you feed it every day using your meditation or your chants, right? That's
Yes.
overpowering the negative egregores in your life. So you're feeding a positive egregore that devours the negative ones that come into your way, right?
Mm,
Like a protected bubble or a space or a community, something like this, a sangha, right?
mm.
So that's one way to battle these egregores is to create a more powerful positive egregore, fight fire with fire, in a sense.
Right. So very consciously choose what is good for you and allowing it to exist.
Right.
Let's make this spicy without
Hmm.
revealing too much, of course.
Okay.
Have I been infected, or am I affected by an egregore that I'm not aware of?
Not right now, but you have been in the
Hmm.
past,
How long ago was it?
like a year back.
Ah, you're back. Fuck, I don't even know what I did yesterday.
This was maybe we weren't we in on your birthday in Costa Rica? No, last year.
No, no. Last year we were in New Zealand.
Oh, New Zealand, right. So that's 2 years
Roughly
back.
around this time, I was with that harpy girl.
Yes, didn't mention the names, right.
Right, right. I'm not
Uh,
allowed to.
right.
Uh,
So yeah, I
roughly
mean, what
around
would you
this
want
time.
to know about that? Like,
Well, if I was infected by an egregore, how did I disinfect myself, so to speak?
hmm, how did Brian disinfect himself from the egg growth in 2024? They're saying you became more radiant than the infection, in a sense. So, uh,
Did that egregore had anything to do with that negative entity that followed us from the beach?
yeah, could be.
Or, right?
Well, it could
S
be. Yeah,
Could be.
there's definitely an energy of that there. It's like
Mm,
psychic, an energy I'm picking up from that, as you said it. Um,
interesting. Very interesting.
yeah, you just starved it rather than fighting
That
it, basically. You like walked away from the location, we took the other way around the beach. We sort of handled it in a certain way by
mm.
not feeding it its energy, because its energy was like, come with us. You can come for a swim or whatever it was saying, the siren energy.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, that was in New Zealand. That was creepy, man. That was
Right.
creepy. Like I felt like a lamb to slaughter that day. Like everything
You
was
gotta be
pulling me
careful, man.
into the most toxic siren environments, and I was just
Mm,
drunk off of their allure and just I would have easily been a victim had it not been for Smith and the Pete. Easily. Was either going to be drowned or I would have lost kidneys or something. Something bad would have
yeah.
happened. Yeah. And let me guess, because I was allowed to ignore it through you guys, and I
Mm,
rose above its frequency, it couldn't touch me anymore. That's
mm,
basically it. Which then we can speculate, almost deduce, the moment you rise above something, it no longer has effect on you. So that means in order to be disinfected from a toxic thought form, no matter
mm,
how maleficent it may be, you rise above it, especially in frequency, it can no longer touch you because it would mean in order to touch you, it must rise in frequency itself, which means becoming
mm.
something entirely anti
Yeah.
itself. Right.
Oh,
Right. I hope we're not are we revealing too much because I feel like if we keep talking about this part, we're going to come into a dilemma.
yeah. You can't reveal too much, but
Right.
we can definitely, yeah, ride the waves of this.
Right.
Ferris has a question. Could you read it out, brother?
How can we enjoy music, movies, favorite people, etc., without getting sucked into their egregore?
Mm,
And how can we enjoy these things without getting infected? Okay, let's take an example of me.
okay.
Um, Without revealing too much, I natural grounded to the Wednesday series. I watched both seasons, and I had a pretty good understanding of why everybody was enamored by the Wednesday character. Meanwhile, I realized that this individual actress, uh, a lot is going on behind the scenes that uh, border around the not meant for mainstream kind of things, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Mm,
And I was very conscious of the fact that I felt very enamored by her gothic persona, so to speak.
mm,
Very enamored, and you have seen it. So, how did I then enjoy her character in the movie, the films, the series, without being
right,
completely infected by whatever the fuck they were trying to do in that movie?
right. It's a very good question, actually. Well, first and foremost, you got to set an intention, right? Like, yo, I want to watch this only for its beauty and inspiration, and I want nothing parasitic to stick to me. That's the
Mm,
first thing you got to do with what you're watching, what you're consuming, and then remembering you're the witness, you're in the dream, you're not a puppet, right? You're not the constantly being reactive to things. You're also allowed to stay lucid. So, um, but yeah, don't sit in passive absorption, is what I would say. Don't just watch a movie dumbfounded, zoned out, high out of your mind, right? Like completely like unconscious, because then that's when they can get you, right? That's when the trance can take over and really start to move you. And so engage very actively with it, right? And then of course there's a lot of banishing rituals. We did the middle pillar as well for the adepts today. So
yeah,
there's a lot of things that you can do to just shake off that energy and recenter. Um, but yeah, turn art into fuel for your own current, not food for the egregore,
yeah,
is what I would say.
yeah.
But
I'm
yeah,
just looking at
unguarded attention is how you get sucked
we're
in.
already over 20 minutes roughly. Mm. Let's have a look at YouTube real quick. Shout out to Matis, good to see you. Shout out to Big White as well. Content creators versus
All
presence
right.
providers. Roykov is idolizing, yeah. At for us, good prep ideas for my field trip. Have fun, Matis. And, yeah, nice. Um, Anything else that would come up would be we at Primal Sutra go steps further than, of course, what we've explained here. There are easier ways to cut oneself off from just negative things, those maleficent things, without necessarily losing connection of source. I believe it has a lot to do with if you look at the biggest possible picture, then we're all part of source, the good, the bad, the ugly. But that doesn't mean I can't allow myself to be extra protected, which is why we do things like having a team of spirit guides, not just at your beck and call, but also to protect you, also to work with you, also to learn more the aspects that are of you, but not necessarily, how would you say this, aware to you. And all of this together can help such things. Looking at all the examples given, especially around me, the only thing I was doing consistently was raising my vibration, focusing on the mission, and nothing else mattered. Because whether it's protecting yourself against these these toxic egregores, or a relationship, or a business, it will always be about raising your vibration and focusing on the mission, and somehow getting the job done because you always had faith that you could. That's either you
Right.
do it or you'll find someone who can. The mission must come to completion. That's all I have to say about this talk summit. I believe we're closing in on time.
Yeah. Well, I can share maybe a secret tech that I
Do
learned
tell.
from the Nexus, where you can actually use your breath as the dragon violet flame
Mm.
and charge things up with it. So I've seen my dad doing this actually with his mala beads, how he blesses them with his breath. So similarly, I can take this AC remote and with the intention, I'm violet flaming this for protection. So this is a very quick and effective thing that you can do. This is what exactly what Primal Sutra is about. So thank you to the Nexus for sharing this.
Well done. So let's see if there are any other questions online. Shout out to Double E. Good to see you.
Oh, Ellie, she says she's still alive. Okay. Awesome. She's
Um,
driving.
yeah, don't drive. Okay, general disclaimer, don't be an idiot. Please don't drive and watch anyone's live, please.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
type in text, please. Regardless of topic or area, whether it's the 3D, 5D, etc., don't do things I wouldn't do, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
That and I do a lot of stupid shit sometimes.
I want to
That being
share
said,
one final point, Ryan.
go
I
ahead.
just remembered this. So my driver who drives me around, my chauffeur, you could say in India we have drivers and so forth,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
aides and stuff like this. So he almost got pulled over by having a little earpiece in his ear or something
You
like
told me, yeah.
this. And he was almost going to get arrested and fined. And immediately in that moment, I activated Janus, I activated Hermes. And within 5 minutes, the officer says, you can go. And that was a huge shift in shock for me because I realized, like, holy shit, these beings are actually protective and this actually works. Like, the moment when I activated them, the energy just immediately
Hmm.
metamorphosed or something. So, um,
Let's add
please
something to
activate
that
your guides.
because
Yeah.
you are far more accepting of their help than I am. I tend to like throw everything on my character. I will figure out a way. And it has led me to facing challenges or making challenges more challenging than it needed to be,
Mhm.
especially with all the shadow work I did this year. It didn't have to be that rough. Like, 'cause I remember just I needed
Armorless.
I
Bro,
went to
imagine
battle
going
without
into hell. Yeah, it's like going into hell without the armor of Christ, bro. It's like it's fucking dangerous. Like,
it. Yeah, I survived, bro. I survived. I
yeah.
If anyone can do it, okay, let's say this. Not everybody can
Well,
do
your
this.
mentality survived in a sense, Ryan, because you needed the mental discipline and the toughness and resilience of mind to be able to push through that nonsense,
Yeah,
right?
and I'll I'm not saying I won't ever do this again. I am saying I fed the right egregore. And that egregore
Right.
was, yeah, the concept of me overcoming whatever bullshit that was on my way
Beg
and
for a
on the way.
victory. Yeah.
And
That's lit.
just you are not bigger or whatever bullshit is on my way can never be bigger than my dreams, can never be bigger than the mission. Because it's on the path, so I'm assuming it's part of the challenge. So, fuck it. I'll
Mm.
take you on or I'll find someone that can handle it for me. It's that simple.
Straight up, Travis Scott
Indeed.
style. All right, let's end it here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, join the Telegram group.
Yeah.
We have weekly podcasts and
Yeah.
weekly channelings as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, we would love for you to join us and be a part of this community because we need more like-minded individuals, man. Like people who really vibe with this kind of information
Hmm.
and want to learn, open their minds towards learning something new that can really transform them. So right now
Hmm.
that we're just doing it as social work, maybe one day it won't be for free. So
Yeah.
get it while you can. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything
Awesome,
else would
guys.
be hmm. Don't forget to feed the things that matter to you. My name is Ryan G. This
Absolutely.
has been GPS Guided Primal Sutra with my co-host and co-owner of Primal Sutra and this podcast, of course, Sumi Chatterjee, aka Uncle Makara. I wish you the very best and may your life never be the same again.